Deep in a jungle where even the wind seems to hold its breath, there existed a tribe that no map marked, no explorer found. They lived hidden beneath a canopy so dense that sunlight barely touched the forest floor. These were people unlike any other people who spoke, not with words, but with trees. The jungle, alive and watchful, guarded their secret fiercely. Birds fell silent when strangers neared. Streams altered their course as if to confuse intruders. And the air itself felt heavier, as though carrying centuries of whispered promises between the tribe and the towering giants around them. Long before cities rose, long before kingdoms drew borders, this tribe thrived in harmony with nature. They did not hunt without permission. They did not cut without blessing. Every leaf, every root, every stone held meaning. Theirs was a world where understanding wasn't born from books or scrolls, but from the very earth that cradled them. Elders taught the young to place their palms upon bark and feel the slow, patient pulse of life beneath. They claimed the trees shared warnings, guided hunters toward food, and steered them away from danger. Skeptics might laugh, but those who dared mock the old ways never returned from the woods. The jungle seemed to have its own justice, unseen but certain. Imagine if you could talk to trees, communicate with them in their own language, feel their emotions and get answers to your questions. You probably think it's impossible, but some people believe they can do it. How does it work? By listening to trees and talking to them, they say, not audibly, but mentally. Feelings and images are exchanged. But how true is this? Theories about talking to trees have been around for a long time. Ancient civilizations like the Greeks believed that trees had spirits in them, and that you needed to treat them well. If you didn't, bad things could happen. Over time, different cultures developed their own beliefs and practices related to trees, often linked to nature worship or animism, which means giving human-like qualities to non-human things. Even today, many cultures around the world still hold these beliefs, but just because something is believed doesn't mean it's true. So let's look at the science. Believe it or not, trees do communicate, but not in a way we can easily understand. They use special chemicals like hormones and neurotransmitters to send messages between their roots, trunk, leaves, and fruits. This helps them grow, protect themselves, and respond to their environment. Scientists call this communication through chemical signals. Trees also release tiny particles called phytoncides into the air. Different types of phytoncides help trees communicate various things such as potential dangers like insects or diseases. It's like their own secret language. Interestingly, these chemicals can affect how we humans feel too. Studies show that being around trees and plants can actually make us feel better both physically and emotionally. There's even evidence that trees can recognize and remember individuals who interact with them regularly. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology in 2014 found that people who spent more time with trees reported feeling closer to nature and had lower levels of stress and anxiety. However, despite all this, there isn't much scientific proof that humans can actually talk to trees and receive answers. Most of the examples we hear about are based on personal experiences or beliefs rather than solid evidence. While many people find comfort and connection in believing they can communicate with trees, it's essential to rely on facts and scientific studies. Some argue that our desire to connect with nature and the environment drives us to believe in talking trees. We naturally want to feel a sense of unity with the world around us, especially in times when environmental issues are at the forefront of our concerns. Believing we can talk to trees might make us feel like we have more control over our. Talking to trees may not be possible, but appreciating and protecting them is crucial. We must take care of the environment and ensure that future generations can also enjoy the beauty and importance of trees. Maybe instead of trying to talk to trees, we should focus on listening to them. Trees can teach us a lot. They're living organisms that have adapted and thrived in various environments for millions of years. Studying trees can help us understand climate change, develop new medicines, and appreciate the interconnectedness of all living things. So while the idea of talking trees is fascinating, it's essential to separate fact from fiction. Appreciate the wonder of trees, respect their importance, and protect them for a sustainable future. One dusk, as crimson spilled across the sky, a boy from the tribe strayed too far. His name was Taro, and curiosity burned in him like a torch. Lured by the song of an unfamiliar bird, he ventured deeper into the woods than any of his people ever had. The forest, usually alive with sounds, grew eerily quiet. Soon, he found himself surrounded by silence, so complete it rang in his ears. No bird song, no breeze, rustling leaves, just endless trunks, gnarled and ancient, standing like sentinels. Fear clawed at him, cold and sharp. Was this the wrath of the forest? Had his tribe's allies turned against them? Then, as he pressed his palm against a moss-covered boulder, the tremors started. At first, they were subtle, like the distant rumble of a sleeping beast. Then the ground beneath his feet vibrated, growing stronger with each passing moment. Panicked, Taro stumbled back, tripped and fell, scrabbling for purchase on the slick forest floor. In that moment of terror, he remembered his father's words. When the earth trembles, listen to her song. With newfound determination, Taro closed his eyes, placed his trembling hands on the ground and tried to listen. As the tremors reached their peak and the trees swayed ominously, Taro felt a presence beneath him, vast, ancient, powerful. It was not a feeling of anger or retribution, but of warning, urgent and undeniable. He opened his eyes, bewildered, unsure what he'd just experienced. But one thing was clear. He could not stay in the forest as darkness descended, fighting back tears of fear. Taro turned and fled, stumbling over roots and rocks in his haste to escape the silent woods. He ran until his lungs burned and his legs screamed for mercy. Finally, through the trees, he saw the welcoming glow of his tribe's firelight. As he collapsed into the circle of familiar faces, relief washed over him, potent and heady, safe within the protective embrace of his people. Taro knew he'd never forget the wrath of the silent forest and the wisdom it held. Generations passed, yet the bond between tribe and forest only deepened. Outsiders tried to claim the land, drawn by greed, but none succeeded. Their machines broke down, paths disappeared overnight, animals they sought vanished like smoke. And always the forest seemed to heal itself, erasing all signs of trespass. It was as if the jungle, through its ancient allies, chose who could stay and who must go. Today, no one truly knows if that tribe remains. Some say their spirits became part of the trees themselves, forever watching, forever protecting the balance. Others believe descendants still walk the forest, silent and unseen, continuing the age-old pact. But the lesson is clear. Respect the wild. Listen to nature's voice, or face consequences you won't see coming. For in places untouched by time, the jungle remembers and it never forgives. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share it with your friends and family. We would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a comment below with your thoughts, suggestions, or any interesting experiences you've had with trees. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel to stay updated on our latest videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.